Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial, and today is a very special video for us. It is the 1000th video that the museum has released. And in honor of our 1000th video, we're going to be looking at Battleship New Jersey's first 1000 days in the water, starting with December 7th, 1942, the day the ship is christened and launched. She is built at the Philadelphia Navy Yard, and the major milestone in construction is the first time she touches the water. At 14:16, or 2:16 in the afternoon, local time here, Eastern Standard Time here in the Philadelphia area, the ship touches the water after approximately 1 minute sliding down the ways. She is intentionally christened and launched 1 year to the minute local time after the attack on Pearl Harbor as part of a nationwide celebration known as Navy Weekend. And New Jersey was the largest ship launched during this commemoration and the capstone event of it. She was christened by the governor's wife, Carolyn Edison.
A full year ahead of schedule. A giant, yes, but only a fraction of Roosevelt's mathematical certainty of the fate in store for Japan.
And when you visit the ship today, you will be visiting her not too far from where she was originally built. About a month later, in mid-January, the ship has come out of dry dock after getting her rudders and propellers installed, and she's taken to Pier 4 at the Philadelphia Navy Yard to have her turrets installed. Turrets and other rotating machinery like the fire control systems, the secondary battery, and all of that is not on the ship as launched, because with a stern first launching, they're worried about the amount of weight that they put on the vessel on dry land, and that possibly preventing her from sliding down the ways. As it was, New Jersey was so heavy, she built up so much speed going down the ways that she continues straight across the Delaware River and grounds herself stern first on the coast of New Jersey. And then, as some people say, she is giving her home state a kiss. I don't know many people who kiss with their aft end, but that's what people say. From there, the tugboats take her into dry dock, and then from there, over to Pier 4 for this construction work. About a third of a year later, on May 23rd, at 12:38 in the afternoon local time, the ship is officially commissioned into the U.S. Navy, with the dignitaries and the full crew lined up back here on the fantail.
And be with us who follow his leadership, that our loyalty may never be slack.
We'll proceed to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and report to the Commandant, 4th Naval District, for duty in connection with the fitting out of the USS New Jersey at the Navy Yard, and for duty as commanding officer of that vessel when commissioned. Signed, S.C. Rowan, by direction.
That's why! First section!
On July 8th at 13:48, or 1:48 in the afternoon, Battleship New Jersey gets underway for the first time as an active commissioned unit. She sails down the Delaware River, she anchors in the Delaware Bay, and then from there proceeds south towards the Chesapeake Bay off the coast of Virginia, where she fires her guns for the first time on July 22nd. By the end of the month in early August, she's off the coast of the Naval Academy at Annapolis Roads, and some Naval Academy cadets come on board, including her future commanding officer, Captain Robert Peniston, who is at that time still a midshipman at the Academy. On August 9th, she sets sail from Norfolk to head for the Caribbean for her Shakedown cruise. By August 13th, she's off the coast of Venezuela, still conducting training operations. It's very common for U.S. Navy ships during the war. Most of them are built here on the East Coast, and they tend to do a lot of their training in restricted waterways like the Delaware River, the Chesapeake Bay, and then down in the Caribbean, where U.S. and Allied aircraft and anti-submarine forces are able to keep new and untested and untrained vessels like this one safe until they can finish their training operations. Later that month, August 1943, the ship has its first liberty in Trinidad. Also during this time, the ship's mascot, Susie Bell, is born on board to her mother, Lucy Bell. Susie Bell will eventually be adopted by the ship's Marines and be renamed Spike. On August 21st, the ship has her first unrep, and on August 24th, the ship has its first casualty when a gunner's mate in the center gun of turret 2 is crushed as the gun elevates down onto him. On August 31st, the ship leaves the coast of Venezuela at the end of her shakedown cruise. On the 5th and 6th of September, the ship has her final inspection before being qualified ready for action. And then on the 7th of September, she goes back into Philadelphia Navy Yard, where she briefly runs aground. On the 20th of September, the ship begins to undergo refits, with additional anti-aircraft guns being added and other additions based on things found out during her trials. By October 3rd, she's out of dry dock. And on October 17th, she has another post-builder's trial inspection. She then sails from there to Casco Bay, Maine, where she arrives on November 2nd. And she will take up station there for the rest of the year, guarding against the threat of the German battleship Tirpitz raiding into the North Atlantic. She spends late December in the Boston Navy Yard, still doing the same missions. And by New Year's, she's returned to Hampton Roads to begin the process of transiting to the Pacific. On January 2nd, the ship leaves for the Panama Canal, where she arrives on the 7th. It'll be her first of 10 transits through the Panama Canal over her career. From January 8th until the 22nd, the ship, in consort with her Battleship Division 7 flagship, USS Iowa, make 20 knots across the Pacific. On January 13th, the ship crosses the equator for the first time, although there is no line crossing ceremony to change polywogs into shellbacks. She's steaming under wartime conditions. On January 22nd, she arrives in Funafuti and joins Admiral Sherman's Task Force 58.3. On the 29th, at 0300 local time, or 3 a.m., the ship goes to general quarters for the first time in a combat zone. From January 30th until February 1st, the battleship shells Eniwetok, her first time firing her main guns in anger. On February 4th, the ship arrives at Majaro, and the crew adopts a Japanese cat found on the island. The island had just been captured, and not knowing what the cat's name was, the crew named her Majuro. On February 9th, New Jersey becomes a fleet flagship for the first time in her career, and not for the last, when Admiral Raymond Spruance hoists his 5th Fleet flag on board the ship. On February 16th, Spruance takes New Jersey in a raid on Truk Lagoon. This will be the first and only time that Iowa-class battleships fire their guns in anger at enemy warships. New Jersey accounts for the sinking of the Japanese destroyer Mayakaze and manages to straddle the Japanese destroyer Nowaki at a range of almost 20 miles, a record that still stands to this day, straddling a moving target from a moving platform at that range. On March 29th, the ship endures her first nighttime air attack by Japanese aircraft. The ship then heads to Palau, and then on April 19th, Spruance shifts his flag from the Battleship New Jersey to his old favorite, the cruiser Indianapolis. At this point, New Jersey sets out on a tour of the former Japanese mandate, stopping on April 21st at Hollandia, on the 29th at Truk, and then on the 30th, in addition with the battleships Iowa, North Carolina, Massachusetts, Indiana, Alabama, and South Dakota, all join up under the command of Admiral Willis Lee at Ponape. New Jersey fires 90 rounds of 16-inch ammunition at the island. From May 14th to the 30th, Admiral Lee makes New Jersey his flagship. And then on D-Day, June 6, 1944, the ship is en route to the Marianas Islands. for the next major battle of the war. On June 13th, the ship participates in the pre-invasion bombardments of Saipan and Tinian. And then on the 19th, she participates in the Great Marianas Turkey Shoot. With 20 Japanese aircraft confirmed during the war, New Jersey shoots down more than all of the other Iowa-class battleships put together. She spends the entire month of July underway, and on August 4th, she puts back in at Pearl Harbor to receive alterations to her flag spaces to take on board Admiral Halsey and his considerably larger 3rd Fleet staff. These are completed by the end of August, and by September 4th, the battleship arrives back in the war zone in the Admiralty Islands. On the 12th, Japanese prisoners of war are brought on board for interrogation. Unbelievably, Admiral Halsey's staff has no Japanese interpreters on it, nor are there any people of Japanese descent or able to speak the Japanese language on the entire battleship. So they try to conduct these interrogations using the Filipino stewards of the ship's crew because close enough? The interrogations are unsuccessful. From the 12th to the 14th, the battleship escorts the fast carriers of 3rd Fleet during air raids on the southern Philippines. In early October, the ship weathers a typhoon and then goes into the Battle of Leyte Gulf, where she is Admiral Halsey's flagship during the largest naval battle of all times by some people's math. Certainly in terms of the square footage that the battle takes place over. From there, she escorts the carriers during airstrikes on Luzon. And then, on December 17th, she is Halsey's flagship during the infamous Typhoon Cobra, also known as Halsey's Typhoon, where he runs 3rd Fleet through the storm and loses several destroyers and several hundred men. On December 24th, Admiral Nimitz breaks his 5-star flag on board. It is the first time a 5-star flag has ever been flown over an American warship. Nimitz is on board for Christmas, and while he's here, the ship is hit by friendly fire when a 5-inch round that failed to detonate during anti-aircraft drills on another ship crashes through the fantail of New Jersey without exploding. On January 26th, the ship receives her first change of command ceremony when Captain Carl Holden is replaced by Captain Woolridge. Both men will attain the rank of admiral before the end of their careers. On the 29th, Admiral Badger shifts his flag from Iowa to New Jersey as 7th Fleet flagship when Iowa goes back home for repairs. From February 10th to March 5th, New Jersey and the rest of the fleet operate with impunity off the coast of Japan as a part of Task Force 58.3 as they bomb Japanese industry on the southern Honshu Islands. This is to draw off Japanese attention for the February 19th invasion of Iwo Jima, which will be the first time that an American flag is raised over Japanese home soil. On March 14th, the battleship again is raiding the southern coast of Japan, this time bombarding Kyushu. On March 19th alone, Battleship New Jersey shoots down 12 enemy kamikazes without taking a single hit. On April 2nd, the battleship has a glancing collision with the destroyer USS Franks, which fails to follow procedures and sails through the center of the task force instead of backing out to the perimeter. Franks' commanding officer is the only person killed in the collision. On April 16th, Battleship New Jersey has her chance to leave the war zone and head back to Puget Sound for major upgrades. She arrives on May 6th, and on June 30th, she conducts sea trials before again departing for Pearl Harbor to join the Pacific Fleet on July 19th. On August 9th, when the second atomic bomb is dropped, the battleship is off Eniwetok. And on the 11th, the ship is ordered to Guam. On the night of August 14th, the Japanese accept the Allies' terms of surrender. And on the 16th, Admiral Spruance arrives back on board to make New Jersey his flagship once again, the cruiser Indianapolis having been sunk by this time. From the 21st to the 28th, the battleship is in Manila Bay, and then she sails to Okinawa. She does not participate in the surrender ceremony in Tokyo Bay because the United States kept Spruance and half of the fleet out at sea for fear that the war might continue and the ships in Tokyo Bay might be attacked. Battleship New Jersey's 1,000th day since touching the water is September 2nd, 1945, when the war ends. From all of us here at Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial, we really appreciate your support of the YouTube channel through our first 1,000 videos. Here's to 1,000 more. If you thought that this kind of shallow dive into the ship's World War II career was interesting, check the link in the description below for information on how you can help us go through the ship's deck logs and help us catalog the events of the ship's World War II career. What do you think was the most important thing that New Jersey did during World War II? Let us know in the comment section down below. And which of our first 1,000 videos is your favorite? Drop the links for them in the comment section down below and let us know so we can make more videos of that type. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. You can also support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find out about the channel and our museum. Thanks for watching.